Hey, welcome back to What the Biz. Last week, we talked about finding a dream financial quarterback, and today we're going to be looking at the other side of that coin, your growth partner. We're exposing the trap that keeps you stuck in the content treadmill and the 5 questions that separate a graphic designer from a revenue engineer. It's time to stop hiring decorators and start hiring growth partners. Let's get into it.
Welcome to What the Biz, where we talk about building successful businesses, balancing life, and all the WTB in between. With your hosts,
I'm Bridget Vector.
And I'm Dan Prochko.
Look at that. Yeah. I'm learning the hotkeys. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, which by the way, we have one, go subscribe. I'm learning the hotkeys on how to control the whole video cast more quickly, more easily, more smoothly, I guess. Anyway, whatever. How you doing?
We're moving into 2026.
I know. It only took me how many years? Yeah, here we go. So what's new? How you been?
Oh, things are good. We are just about wrapped up with our first coaching cohort of our new program. It has been so fun. Like, I am so proud of what has been built in that training. It's for other accountants or those that want to become accountants and getting into like advisory mindset, not just like data entry mindset. But it has been super fun. So super proud of that program. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We just finished, a few weeks ago, and I've been getting testimonials recently for our course, and it's been a blast just hearing what everybody got out of it and getting that feedback of like, here's how to make it better. And so got some cool nuggets that'll go into the next round. Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting.
That's awesome.
What
are you doing? Video testimonials or just general or whatever they're willing to? Okay.
Video testimonials. I'm hoping to take those, turn them into text when needed, and just, because I've got the transcript and whatever else. But yeah, no video. So that'll go a long way. Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. New cohort. Anything interesting pop up so far?
I think the really nice thing about doing, like, when you're putting your expertise in one like big compiled thing, right? Like a structured format, there's so much value to having that like intro group, which I'm sure you experience, because what you think you're answering or filling the blanks in on, they ask the great questions that it's like, oh, let's add something about that. And, oh, that's great. Let's add that piece to this. And so this first cohort has been great in the way, like, we've gotten to add so much more value to it. Like, it was already hugely valuable. Like, I've had members that are like, your live session today, I would have paid what I paid for this program just for this 1 hour.
Oh, that's
session.
Awesome.
So, when they're getting, I think we're going to be together like 10 weeks, right? They're getting way more than that. So it's been fun to see how needed it is, and then them fill in the blanks with their true questions of what they're living right now. So.
No, that's so validating to hear, of like, this alone is worth the value of the whole thing. And it's like, that was week 1, guys. We still got 9 more weeks, or that was week 2. We got 8 more weeks to go, Yeah, no, it's huge. I asked a similar question of like, you guys got in on, my first cohort was on a very introductory rate because it's first time through. And we did, part recorded, part live. Remind me, are you doing recorded stuff at all, or is it all live and then?
Nope, it's both. Yeah,
it's both too. Okay, cool. Yep. Yeah. So I asked, like, what was the biggest value and how much would you pay for this or whatever? And they're like, well, look, the courses are awesome, but the coaching sessions were where we were able to ask questions and really understand those concepts and work through it together. I would have paid like 10x what you charge for this. And I was just like, wow. What's interesting is I wasn't even thinking of charging that much for it to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And the second time I do this, I don't know that it's going to cost as much as they're saying it's worth. But now my brain is going like, maybe I need to just ramp that up and it's actually worth, XYZ. But anyway, some work to do on messaging and positioning of it so that it seems that valuable. But yeah, really, really neat stuff. It's validating to hear is all I'm getting at.
Well, and I think it puts in perspective the value of your expertise, right? We're in a noisy world.
Yeah.
We're in a noisy world of AI and all the things we always talk about on this podcast. The value of your expertise and lived experiences is what people want. So like anybody even listening, right? Like you have something that people can't get from AI because it lives in your brain and it lives in your lived experiences. And so like for me, I had the same thing. Like I charged very little for this. Like they are getting an entire hands-on experience, like start to finish of an entire year of like client books and financials. They're also getting to work inside some of our client files, like those that have signed our like NDA forms. You can't get that in other coaching programs. And like they're getting my feedback almost like I'm their direct mentor or trainer and they're my trainee. And like they've said to me, because I did charge very little for this first one, like I wanted to get it off the ground. And I'll even say it, like I charged $1,000 for this first training program. And I have people in this group who have taken other accounting courses and whatnot, and they're like, we would have paid probably $50,000 just to hear your
Wow.
like.
I mean, that's what I was gonna say. Hearing what your course does, like that scope, that's like college, like not even college level. Yeah, but it's beyond is what I'm getting at. There's like more to it. It's like a college and an internship rolled in one. Those courses are thousands of dollars each, you know, et cetera. And,
well, each credit hour costs how much?
Well, right. Each credit hour costs hundreds of dollars. No, that's what I'm getting at. You know, and you're getting together for 10 weeks for how many hours? I mean, it's worth thousands, you know, if not tens of thousands. So no, that's impressive. And you said something that I think actually is going to be our segue in here today is you said, you know, there's something in our brains that AI can't, you know, can't deliver. And AI aside, you know, we as business owners have our expertise. That's why we started what we do. We were good at it, you know, and we were excited about it and we learned as much as we could. And so we have these experiences and this knowledge within us that our clients are looking for. So all of us have this ability not to create courses. That's not where I'm going with this, listeners. Okay. That's not it here. It's that, you know, our episode today is about growth, you know, and we all started our business, you know, to grow a business, not to grow a job, you know? And so, usually business owners start doing their own marketing and then they reach a point where they're working with a partner and they may find that partner isn't really accomplishing what they want them to. And that's because they don't have what's in your brain. Okay. Beyond that, who you're working with might not be a strategic growth partner. Like I said in the intro, they may just be a graphic designer. They may be somebody who likes to create content. They're not thinking that strategic piece. And so today we're going to explore that. Okay. Because when your business is in like high growth, all right, things are good. That's great. You love to spend. You're fine because you're growing. But when things get tight, and you're not getting as much out of it, you know, and when times are lean, you're not getting as much out of it. It's that strategic partner that's supposed to help you stay efficient. And if they're not one of those, you're not getting it and your expertise isn't being shared out there. Okay. So let's jump in and talk about those 5 things that make a great marketer. Okay. This is where I want to start. Okay. And maybe this is going to be you as a business owner, and that's okay. You can be that strategic marketer. That's cool. But there's really 5 things that I've identified thinking about how we work with our clients. There's 5 areas that I think and we're going to share them together, me and Bridget here. But there's 5 things I think a strategic marketer or growth partner does. Okay. First thing, they translate metrics into money. Okay. A true marketer understands, you know, their impact on revenue. You know, we hire people, you know, as business owners, we hire others to do work for us because we're not the experts, you know, in certain things. But if they can't connect their efforts to the bottom line, okay, they're not really strategic or valuable to you. So like a strategic growth partner is really going to focus on like customer acquisition cost, understand lifetime value. You know, maybe if you're e-commerce or a retail store, they're going to understand things like average order value, repeat purchase, et cetera, like these strategic metrics that really work toward building your business. So if you have a marketer, okay, that is focusing on vanity metrics, and when you talk with them, you're always talking about things like impressions, clicks, or reach, you may not be working with a strategic partner and you may need to realign. So that's the first one.
I love that last part. That's a conversation I think that's had a million times over. I had that exact conversation this week
Oh, wow.
where when looking at marketing, you have to know what's translating to revenue. Like there is no way around that to have effective marketing to not know what is translating. And so like when that tough question is asked of like, hey, we see you increase your marketing spend. Like, what are you tracking with that? How do you know what it's doing? Because we're not seeing revenue increasing yet. Like you increased this marketing spend 8 months ago. It's been given the time, right? Like the time has been put there. We've talked about that in other episodes. And they're like, well, my marketing partner just says, we had thousands of clicks this month. Like, so they're tracking that exact thing that you said. Like they will tell us how many clicks and show growth on the clicks. It was like, well, where in that translation are they showing you where they're moving through your sales then? How many of those are turning into sales conversations? And they don't have that data. Like it's broken. It is absolutely
100%.
functional. Like you got to be able to translate it to revenue.
Yeah, and that's why with all of our clients, what we do on top of showing them, yes, the clicks, but also the leads. Okay, we show them clicks to leads, and then what channels are bringing those leads. So showing which ones are ours, which ones are organic, et cetera, what that impact is. We actually also have all of our clients report on their growth every month. So how many new clients did you sign? How many did you lose? How many leads did you get in your system versus what we tracked? So we want to understand the quality at every level. So how many leads did you get? How many did we track? Helps us understand, one, are we measuring right, or what our impact is versus, what they're getting from elsewhere, which is great to know, because that then with your marketer, you get to understand things like, oh, our marketer's bringing in half of all of our leads or 80% of our leads, which for some of our clients, that's actually true. That's a huge chunk. That's valuable. Okay. And then seeing things like how many new clients get added helps us understand quality of those leads or quality of their sales process, and so there's all of these areas where we can work with our clients to be that strategic partner of like, oh, the quality of leads hasn't changed. There's been a dip in sales, or, hey, oh man, your sales seems to be going really well. Seeing your progress. There's a dip. We're going to take a look in and see what's going on with some of the quality, or we saw a dip in lead flow period. Oh, there was an increase in cost per conversions, and what are all the reasons why, et cetera, and how we can combat that, and then help them on how much budget they should be spending to reach the goals they want to hit, and by putting all those together, we show the full picture of the impact of our growth systems and their growth systems. And so that's how we get beyond that. Yeah. So definitely focus all the way down to the money part.
That's hugely valuable, because from our perspective, with like when we're working financial side, we actually support the growth partner, the marketing growth partner, in the way of, if we can see, or they can show us what has brought in those leads. Like if there is something like truly happening on the marketing side, we encourage them, you need to go talk to your growth partner and tell them, turn that lever up. Like if that is producing, like if you're spending $1 and you're making even $2, you should be turning that lever into more. Like you're printing money, right? And so your accounting quarterback, which is kind of bringing this together with all the things we've been talking about, truly can support your growth person if they're both working in this ideal capacity, because it is just printing money for you. Like that would be their goal, but you got to have all these pieces in place. And having this as number one is spot on, Dan. Spot on.
No, it's great having, a client that either works with you or like when we work together and I can see my numbers, I can see, oh, here's my spend on marketing and here's my outcome. So I can understand that direct relation between it and even go deeper of like, how much am I spending in each channel, et cetera. So really huge. And if you have a great growth partner, they will either ask for that information or talk in a way where you can broach that topic of like, would it be valuable to see this to help with, the strategic, areas, and hands down, yes, it is, to see that stuff because it really helps us understand impact and value. Yeah. So the second item, strategy first, creative second. Okay. I don't I don't know if you run into this. I know I do. This is totally different, different realms, but maybe you have something comparable. But it's like I'll have clients or some say, "Hey, I want more video out there," or "Hey, I want to see like this kind of design, etc., or something like that." And it's interesting because it's like, okay, what data tells you, or what do you feel? And I do say feel first because mostly there's never any data behind it. Okay, what feelings do you have that make you think that this is going to work, and why do you want this, etc.? And it's usually, and this is to no offense, this is all true. We all have egos. We have them on some level. We want to look a certain way. We want to feel a certain way. That's the brand. That's great. I want to align on brand. But beyond that, like as a growth partner, I'm more concerned with what those psychological barriers are. What are the things and the triggers that keep your customers away, and or what get them over the hump to purchase? And that's what I care more about. What it looks like, and whether it's a video or an image or a brochure or whatever, is kind of irrelevant through all of this, because it could be any of those things, you know? And so what a great marketer will do is really understand and create a market. I mean, it's in our name, marketers. We create markets, you know? And so it's, what do we need to put out there in terms of content, and the way in which that content is communicated, which could be video, that gets those customers to take action.
Yeah. So you're essentially starting with the end in mind, right? Like you
Always. Oh yeah.
You want what is going to bring in the sales and the correct customers to buy what it is. And then how do we reverse engineer that into what we're putting out? It isn't just pretty videos. Like, totally agree. From our aspect, I think it's funny how this kind of parallels. We will have customers ask us, or like our clients will ask us to like add different accounts into their reports. And we always ask, like, what are you trying to get from this data? Like, what is adding that going to bring to, like, add value to growth or whatever you're doing, which is very similar to this. Like, what is that pretty video actually going to, like, what is your goal of that pretty video? And is that truly what's going to achieve a growth or a revenue or some other component coming from that change, right? Or that the way it looks pretty. Yeah. I think anytime you're working with somebody, if they're not coming at it from strategy first, or like that reverse engineering, they're probably starting from the wrong place in the entire process.
100%. And I can't tell you how many times we've had clients say, "Oh, I want more video in it," and we'll put video as part of the campaign. And it's like part of an ad campaign. Like, we'll have video ads, we'll have static image ads. The image ads perform like 10 times better than the video ads. And we show that data, and then the client is confused. And it's like, just like, the truth is, like, the data doesn't lie. Like, we like, I get the confusion and I know this desire. And when we get data that shows us otherwise, we get this cognitive dissonance where it's just like, I can't compute what's going on. It doesn't fit. Like, it doesn't fit my worldview. Like, this isn't cool. It's okay. It's okay that we're wrong. Marketers are wrong all the time. And actually, we're going to get into that today a bit, you know, is that marketers are wrong, and things that we do. And when I say wrong, I don't mean like we're fundamentally wrong and we're hurting anybody. It's just that some things don't always work. Yep. That's okay. Thing is, we learn through the data, and then we avoid making that mistake in the future. And that's so key to this. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Number 3, marketers listen to customers and to the sales team. We don't just follow the algorithm. Maybe you've heard the term chasing the algorithm or whatever, you know, and that's the whole idea of like trying to rank number 1 or getting a viral video. Like, these things they're really difficult to do, and they're hard to manufacture. And so really what a great growth partner does is that they listen. Okay. They ask, you know, what are the 3 most common questions and objections you hear from customers? Or what are, you know, what's your sales process in general, and where does that process have the largest bottleneck or the biggest hang up? You know, maybe there's a way marketing can help through that. And that's because, you know, we want to create campaigns and content that address those issues to, again, speak to that psychological barrier of what's going on. And the only way we can do that is by listening. If we are constantly projecting our view of the world everywhere, we're going to create things that are really for us, or in the sense of the business, it's just the business spewing outward. But we, as marketers, we want to make things more like conversation. We want to attract people in. And to attract people in, we have to talk like them, and we have to put content out that speaks to them where they're at.
You have to know them.
Yeah,
and you can only know them by listening.
Yeah. And I guess to that point, know where they're at. It kind of leads into number 4. I'm going to go right into it. Is a great growth partner is going to go where the customer is, meaning that we're not going to look at just one platform. Like a real growth partner that helps you with your full strategy isn't going to say something like, we're just going to work on Meta and Facebook and that's it. We're not going to focus anywhere else. We're not going to do anything else. Okay. Or we're only going to do email. You know, like a true growth partner is going to understand that a customer doesn't follow a straight path, and that we're going to work to meet them where they are as best we can based on the client's budget, etc. Sometimes that means fewer channels. We can't do everything with the budget. Like even as a business owner, if you're doing your own marketing, you don't have the time to do everything, So there are some give and takes, but it's the understanding that customers don't just like see an ad, read a blog post, join an email list, then convert and give money. It doesn't happen that way. It's more like we talk with a friend. Oh, I saw a billboard, and then I'm on Facebook. I see an ad. You know what? Let me go do a Google search. Let me go back and talk to my friend again about that thing. Okay, now I'll come back and download that ebook. 5 months later, oh, there's that ad. Now I'm going to spend my, like we don't follow straight paths, unless we're truly in buy mode. It's really, we don't. And so as a marketer, through all of these, as you're hearing, we create markets. We create these systems that allow people to find us. And so by listening, by being strategic and measuring, we get to go where the customer is, and we know how to spend those budgets efficiently.
I like to bridge this typically. Like if I'm thinking about my own marketing, or if I am talking to our clients about like marketing pieces, I bridge it as like, you need to just think about things from the last time you bought something. Like, what was that process truly like for you? Or think about it from the aspect of how many times did you see that one company's ad before you finally clicked to do something? Your customers are living exactly or doing what you're doing. So like, think about how you are operating in your buying like sequences and the way that it's flowing, and know that you need to have a similar thing set up. So like, yeah, it happens. I see somebody new and I instantly go look at Google. It's like, let's go check this thing out. Like, what do they have? Who are they? What does their website look like? What do they truly offer? Like, that's a natural reaction, right? Or you go check Facebook if you didn't see them on Facebook first, and like, you're going through other channels. So I completely agree. Like, you may not be able to be everywhere all at one time, but like, think about your own buying journey and know you need to be filling all those same things for your own company.
Yeah. That's such a good point. We get these biases as owners, like, oh man, I'm an expert. I'm so good at this. When people see my stuff, they should just convert. Like, why are they going and asking all of these questions? But then ourselves, if I think about myself, it's just like, you know what? I ask a ton of questions, Yeah, I'll go ask I needed a local mechanic. I'm going to go talk to all my friends. Where have they taken their cars? I'm going to go read a ton of reviews. Why would I think somebody wouldn't do that for my business? Like that, and for me, that's insane, But we do. I say insane nicely. It's just the whole, like, we have biases. We have our own egos. We think of ourselves more highly than a stranger would, And it's just like, totally true. But it's funny because totally go down that path of just thinking like I'm special for some reason.
I put this one thing out and I know how much effort it took from me to get it out there. So that effort should land for them to know how awesome I am.
Right.
Like, that is fair, right? Like, we are putting a lot of work into marketing. We have to think about it from the aspect of what it takes to make us buy. So
100%. Which I think is a great segue in the last one, is that a true growth partner is going to help you build a growth engine. They're not just going to do one-off efforts of campaigns or one-off marketing efforts, random acts of marketing, as I call it. Like, there's a lot of business owners that do that, where it's just like somebody calls them, do you want to run some ads on radio? Oh, sure. They're like, oh, you know what? I want to put out, these flyers or these direct mailers this month because I feel like it and I have money. Or you know, what is it, Labor Day rolls around, it's like, oh, let's just do a sale because it's Labor Day and we should, you know. It's like these are all random acts that don't fit into an engine. Whereas a growth partner is going to help set up a system, which doesn't just mean the calendar of events or calendar of promotions or offers and messaging. It also means, how do people take action and flow through all of your systems? Like, how do you as your business like to take leads in? What platform do they go into? What software? What messaging should they be getting along the way? And it's like understanding the entire customer journey. And a true growth partner will help create a system so that it all seamlessly works together. So once a customer or contact, prospect, whatever you want to call them, enters your ecosystem as a business, they're going to be communicated with and talked to over time and nurtured and in the way that you would like your brand to do that, so that things in the end, these systems work for you, continuing to bring growth in a way that is trackable, repeatable, profitable. Those are really the key things that a true growth partner is going to do for you.
I think that's a great end to the top 5, to be honest, because if the growth partner is not investing in that way to bring those pieces to your business, you're missing the data, which I think throughout all of this is a common trend, right? You need the data. Nothing works without the data. So if you can't see it or you can't track it, you're operating like it's like operating missing an entire piece of the machine, which is not going to help your business
Hands
grow.
down. Yeah, hands down. Well, I guess from those 5, let's jump into 5 questions that you should be asking your marketing partner. Okay. And then after this, we're going to get into what actions you can take. Okay. So just like last week, we gave you like, here's, you know, what makes a great financial quarterback. Here are your 5 questions. Here are actions to take. We got that for you too. So stick around for those 3 actions. Those action steps that you can take to get more aligned with your growth partner. But question 1, I've got, you know, 1, do you optimize for leads or for revenue? And honestly, this is kind of a trick question, because they should really explain how they optimize for your business goals. Okay. Not for one or the other. So you don't have to ask it exactly this way. The point of this question is really to test whether they care about, you know, your bank account or vanity metrics. And any growth partner should really care about your financial health. And are you getting what you need at a profitable level to grow and reach the goals that you want to reach? Because at any one period, and to be honest, if a marketer is not helping you get leads, they're not going to help you get revenue. But if they're not focusing on the revenue part and only the leads part, and they're not helping you understand the connection, then they're not concerned with their quality, and that can be a whole issue long term. So this question really helps to make them think and to give that answer of like, you know what, in any one period, it's going to be both, but we are going to connect the dots together, which is what you're listening for. Of do they optimize and connect those dots together?
Yeah, I would absolutely, for me personally, I would be listening for them to tell me that they're optimizing for quality leads that will by default increase my revenue. Like that's, they do end up going together. And so I certainly would be listening for that answer, not like, oh, we're going to, you know, make sure we're optimizing for you to have, the most amount of clicks or views on your post. No, I want those to turn into the quality leads. I would be happy with 10 people seeing it if it was 10 people that are my ideal customers versus 1,000 people seeing it who would never be a customer of mine. That's what I would be looking for. Yep.
Yeah. Next question I've got is, can you explain your tracking model in plain English? Now, look, I set it up this way because most business owners were not techie. You know, we're not super into analytics, et cetera. But it is very, if there's anything to take from this, like in anything that me and Bridget talk about, that you and me talk about, it's tracking and data really matters. And so if they can't explain how a lead becomes a sale, or can you help me understand how you track the whole lead marketing cycle from start to sale or conversion, if they sound like they're guessing, or if they don't have a system where they can show that in place, then they're probably not going to be a great strategic partner, because you have to be able to track and understand what model to put in place. So really what we're listening here for is not, are they talking platforms? It's more like, do they and are they able to track all the way from not even a lead through lead into your CRM, or through purchase, so that you know where they came from and can tie back to their efforts. That's what we're listening for through all of this. Okay, on to number 3. This is a callback. Earlier we talked about failure, and so I love this question. It's, when a campaign fails, and some will, what's your forensic process to find out why? And I love this because it forces them to admit that they failed in the past. Okay. And this is very important. Are they a problem solver, or do they never admit to failure, which is a total problem? Okay. Because things are going to not work. And how do they address it? What are their steps for reviewing why something didn't work? And how do they report that to the client? Those are the things that you should be listening for through all of this, because not everything works. Okay. And as customers or clients of a strategic partner, or those who have a partner, just know that. Okay. And also, if you did it yourself, you'd have your own failures too. Like, not everything hits the way we think it's going to. It's okay. The point is that, are we measuring? Are we learning? And are we overall, over the entire course of time together, are we hitting those goals, and we're moving toward those goals in a positive way? Those are the things that matter most. So by asking, when things fail, how do you address it? We're just looking to learn. Do they learn?
Yep. Which
is really the key piece. Are they going to learn from their mistakes? Are they going to collect data?
So I always think or say, when you are investing in marketing, you have to know that you're investing in failure. And everything that doesn't work exactly how you wanted it to is an opportunity for that data to give you the story, to make you one step closer to cracking the code of what is going to be working. So I know there's a lot of fear about even starting marketing, because it can be costly to have failures, right? Like, that is a reality. But the longer that you avoid the inevitable failures, you cannot get to know what needs to be coming from you unless you go through
100%.
The failures.
Yes.
You're going to stay in this stuck cycle. You're always going to be afraid of marketing. You're going to be spending money in ways that aren't producing money for you. You're going to be dabbling in very broken marketing systems. And I think, to me, the first thing a business owner has to understand is marketing failure will happen, and it is the best thing that can happen to you if there is a plan to learn from it. So whether you're doing it yourself or you're with a growth partner, if there's no plan to learn from it, you failed without a purpose. But if they can tell you, yeah, it's going to happen, and this is what we're going to do, and this is why, and this is how it leads to your true growth and next steps, you found a partner who gets it. You have found a partner that's going to take you through the action steps of those failures. Because I think even doing it yourself, it's very hard to look at that data when you're not an expert and say, oh, that's telling me I need to tweak this part, where a true growth partner could see that data and say, I know exactly where in the pipeline this piece might need to be tested differently. And that's an action plan. To me, that's an action plan. And that's what I would want from a growth partner. So just like I always tell our clients, onboarding is the messiest part, right? We got to get the processes there. Marketing failures are the messy part that have to be there to get to success.
Yeah.
It's just the reality. And until you're testing, you can't get there.
Yeah. I mean, I'll admit, we've had tons of campaigns that have failed, in the sense that they didn't reach the outcomes we thought they would. Not that they weren't profitable.
Sure.
They just didn't reach the level we thought they would. They were a bit more expensive in the end, still profitable, but just not super expensive. Now, we have had some that have spectacularly royally failed. And it's always like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed about this, but here's what we learned, and that's always the key. Here's what we learned. Okay. Mm-hmm. And what's funny is, a good strategic growth partner that is managing your campaign is going to pivot in the middle of the campaign too. It's not like we wait all the way to the end and we're done. We should be tracking along the way, which is why these questions are so important around the tracking model. How do you optimize, et cetera? But because parts of that campaign didn't perform to the best of its ability, it's not going to have the outcome we thought it would have, the 5x return or the 20x return or 100x return. If the goal was, we want to get $100 for every dollar, but we only ended up getting 20. Okay, look, 20 is still really, really good. Okay, 100 is insane. I don't know who would agree to that, to be honest, but like the 20x return is super, super strong. But it's just like, okay, what pivots did we make and what did we see change along the way that got us to that 20 versus letting us stick at like a 3-time return, And so that's the important piece here. And that's what makes the next effort more valuable, which leads us to number 4 here, which is how much of your strategy is based on specific customer data versus best practices. And so to that point about testing, when marketers start with a new client, we're implementing best practices, okay? Because we're getting to know the client. We don't fully have a grasp of all of their customer data, et cetera. We're going to put in best practices. But when you ask this question, what you're looking to hear is like, do they use customer data, or are they just putting in what they think works and that's it? Because every brand and every company has really valuable customer data, on how their customers purchase, what they purchase, what products are their winners, what products are great add-ons, et cetera, down that way. And so the answer, you should hear a mix of both, because if they don't bring in best practices, well, then they're just shooting from the hip and they're not doing anything. But if they say they're not going to use your customer data, they are ignoring a huge treasure trove of valuable information for how to make campaigns even better. So really important to bring those two together. I'll give an example of one way we do that. When we run campaigns, we might run campaigns around, say, like a freebie ebook download to build an email list. But by downloading that ebook, what we learn is that customer, we understand a topic they're interested in. Okay, and now we have their customer information. So what we can do is we can trigger a follow-up campaign on that topic to see how close are they into the purchase mode. By giving them that consideration data, we got them on awareness with this ebook. Now we give them consideration data to start considering solutions and this client as the person to work with. We can see, are they taking action? If they don't, okay, then maybe they're not as close to buying mode as we thought. And so, that sequence ends and it's more into that awareness realm. And by doing this over and over again, and by putting people into these audiences and buckets, we can start, nurturing people down that funnel and identifying those individuals who are ready, to purchase and spend money, et cetera, and then win them as clients. So that's one way we can do that. Another way is understanding who's a past client to try and win them back. So like, who are clients that they've lost, and if those reasons are not super negative, because hopefully that's in the system, we can negate those. We can try and win clients back, through specialized campaigns. So there's really cool ways of using customer data to generate growth.
And I would say if the growth partner that you're speaking with can't articulate how they use customer data, that would be a red flag to me that they don't actually understand how the customer data leads to all of these other things, like the examples you were just giving. That tells me that they operate more off from a base level marketing world versus the in-depth, like, I truly understand what data is telling me. Because they should easily be able to give at least one example of how they use customer data. And if they can't, that means they don't understand it, which means they're not going to be a great growth partner.
Yeah. I mean, and if all they say is, oh yeah, we use it to personalize emails by putting in like their first name. Oh my God, that's not the same thing. That's not even close.
So does my 10-year-old.
Yeah. Now, if you can't tell, most of these questions are all around finding out, are they a strategic partner? And this last question is just really bold-faced, bluntly asking that. Like, are you a tactical vendor or a strategic partner? And what we're really asking is, are you tactical, meaning I have to tell you what to do as a business owner? I have to constantly tell you what the next piece is and what we're doing. Or are you strategic, meaning you come to me with solutions and or with what we should do moving forward? Obviously, they should be coming to you, like as a business owner, with solutions instead of waiting for you to tell them what to do. Now, with that said, if you're a business owner and you're fully changing your focus and your strategy, that needs to be communicated and come from you. Your marketer or growth partner is not going to help you change your entire business model. That's not really the point. They can be there to help you with that, But if you are completely changing things, you need to bring to them. Otherwise, if you know, they know what you're doing, it's just like, yeah, here's what we recommend for our system. Here's the messaging and the calendar of what we want to do. And then as they collect data along the way, they can come to you and say, hey, we're seeing there's an issue in this one area. Here's what we recommend to fix. And that might be things around pricing. That might be things around product naming. That might be branding, positioning. That might be expansion ideas even. I've definitely worked with clients where it's like, hey, we've got really big saturation in this area, but just 2 miles, this way, there's this whole, area XYZ that's really similar and close. I think we should be expanding into this region, et cetera. And we've done that with clients to success. And so a great strategic partner is going to come to you, rather than waiting on you to tell them what to do.
Proactive partnership. Bingo.
Super important. Super important.
It is.
So what actions can we take? I got 3 ideas here, and you can tell me, Bridget, whether you think any else should be added here. But I think number 1 is, if you're not sure where you're at with your marketer, or if your marketer is a growth partner, I say just re-interview them. But do this in a collaborative way. Like, hey, it's been a while since we sat down to realign on expectations and who we are. Our businesses may have evolved in the last 2-3 years we've worked together. Why don't we sit down and get recentered on how you work, how we work, what our goals are, what our strategy is, et cetera. And in that time, you can ask those 5 questions to get a better understanding of your marketing partner. I think that's step 1.
Absolutely. I also think if you are working with a marketing partner that is evolving themselves into like different ways to support you strategically, and if you go back to those 5 questions about like them being proactive and reaching out first, you could very well have a marketing partner who would initiate this conversation because they may have evolved while you're also evolving, and hopefully they're recognizing that. Now, I think there is a key piece here where, and I know we're going to probably make this an episode at some point about being a great client, right?
Yes.
Where if you historically haven't been a super involved client, right, they may not feel like you are ready for that strategic piece in your business, and you may not be ready for that. But if you are, I love this. Like, don't just count them out as being that person. Have that great conversation, not combative, but like, hey, like, we're changing what we're doing. I want to see if you can support that, and if that's something that you do. Just having that open conversation, I think is hugely valuable.
100%. Which, to number 2, to that point, is auditing your own involvement. Like, what kind of person are you? And we'll go more in depth of like what makes a great client or somebody who works with third parties, because there are ways to do that make it way more valuable and impactful. But understanding, like, are you a bottleneck? Are all decisions constantly driving through you, or have you empowered others? Are you providing feedback that the marketer needs, or access to numbers and data? Do you give them access to your platform so they can see what's going on? Other questions to ask yourself are like, do you trust numbers? Like, when your marketer shows you reports, or when you go look at your reports, do you believe what those reports say? If you're not doing any of these things, fix it immediately. Like, these are things like, and I know it's difficult mindset stuff, and I know we're just saying like, fix it, like, just make that change. Like, I get that can be hard, because we have a view of the world, and we feel, and we have feelings about things. And sometimes the numbers don't show what we feel. And that can either be demoralizing or just confusing sometimes. Sometimes very exciting. Like you feel like business is horrible. And I totally had this happen, Bridget. This happened last year or earlier. No, it was last year. It was May. And I'm talking with a client, and they're just feeling so stressed. Like, super. They were just like, oh my God, things feel crazy. And we looked at the numbers, and they grew something like 30% year over year in like 4 months, which, if continued throughout the whole year, if they did the same 30% growth over and over the same way, it would have been like almost doubling their business a year. Wow. That is a lot. Mm-hmm. No wonder you're feeling that way. But the moment we showed the data, because they trust data, they were like, oh my God, we grew that much? Holy cow, this is amazing. I get why I'm feeling this way now, because there's so much going on that it's tough to keep. Like, we just have all this capacity coming through and everything. We're constantly moving. But this is so exciting. I had no idea we grew that much. Like, they were just in it so much that they hadn't looked at historical numbers as to their growth. They were tracking that they were growing every month, but they didn't put it into the context of year over year or month over month. And so when that happened, they got so excited, and you could almost see that stress relief, and their mindset changed about everything. And honestly, the rest of the year, they actually did. They basically pretty much doubled last year, which was amazing. And they had a totally different outlook from that moment on. So it's like, who are we? Are we positively and are moving forward with that partner? Are we a bottleneck? Do we trust numbers, et cetera? Really important.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the last one is get strategic. This is just if anything along the way, through that interview with the marketer, reveals that things aren't strategic, it's the time to take action. Take action. Tell them, look, I want to move forward from like that tactical vendor relationship into advisory. What do you need from me to make that happen? Like, be proactive here. If you don't trust numbers, go take that course, et cetera. And so really step 1 and 2 are really auditing and getting all that information together. Step 3 is, take that action to make things more strategic to help you out.
Love it. Great tips.
Cool. Let's move into the What the Biz moment. Do you have a What the Biz today or not?
I have a What the Biz today.
Okay, cool. Because I have one too. But we'll save it. Okay.
So mine is actually on technology. So when a business has an app and they choose to make a change to that app, you would expect the new one to be better, right? Like, we are at that point in life.
Sorry, you can tell I'm laughing. You can tell what my experience has been sometimes. Yep.
So I have a car wash subscription. Okay. This is about it's a local car wash. They have some in other places around the state, but like it's a very small car wash thing. I love the subscription, right? I can go in, old app, I got a code, I plugged the code in on the screen, bada bing, bada boom, I got in, got my car wash and left.
Yep.
Loved it.
Bada bing, bada boom. I love that's exactly what a car wash sounds like.
Yeah, and it works. Like, right? My husband has access to it. He can get his own code. We just share the subscription because a lot of households have more than one car. Well, they changed their platform, and like in their FAQs, it says like you can now only use one car. It makes you put a license plate in there, which it's not holding it to it, which is great, but I think it's silly. Like, that's silly to me. If the subscription allows you 8 car washes, it shouldn't matter what car I'm washing from my driveway, right? But on top of that, they took away the code. It is now like this QR scan. So you need the sunlight to be just right for the screen on your phone to be able to read. And so that's now a hindrance at their new machines. So they updated all their new machines. Then yesterday, I went to get said car wash, okay? Finally got the little QR thing to scan, waiting for the person in front of me. What happens? The first time I've ever seen this happen, the car wash stops working to the car in front of me, and they are now stuck inside car wash. And so the screen next to me now says, wash bay is temporarily unavailable. Please come back later. Which, fine. I was so incredibly grateful and thankful I wasn't the one stuck in there because I was in between meetings. Like, I had just enough time. So I feel really bad for the people in there. Don't know how they resolve that because there's obviously not an attendant on site. So you're calling a number, all the things. But my next frustration, so I just said 4 things they broke with this app. Previously, if there was an issue, it was a click of a button. Customer service instantly fixed it. Like, they took the use off your subscription. There's no way to talk to them now. So the annoyance of me being able to say, hey, I never was able to get the car wash yesterday. The machine at this location went down before I could click a button, and it was just solved, right? And now it's not. So they broke the good thing they had going for I don't know for what reason, but I say all of this because if we are making enhancements, it should not make our customer life harder. That's number one thing you should be focused on in your business. And so I call it a fail. They probably spent a ton of money on the new app. And I know they did on their machines because they had to update all the little scanny things that didn't used to be there. And it's horrible.
Yeah,
Absolutely
this was definitely
horrible.
someone. This is definitely someone in finance looking at a report and only thinking about how do we increase profit without thinking about the customer experience. Okay. And it was totally finance driven. That's what this decision was. 100% finance driven. They had no one else on this. And this isn't saying like anything wrong around finance people, but when your only guiding light is like profit, if that's the only guiding light, there's some issues. Okay. But yeah, somebody was looking at it like, oh man, all these support staff people cost us money. And oh, this code thing, oh, we're seeing like we can get some extra bucks by getting people to pay another membership for another car. And that's it. It was just a purely numbers, like somebody in finance of like, how can I get more money out of my clients making a decision? And it's almost like the finance guy was driving the customer experience, part around what the app is going to look like and work. Because we need the perfect environmental conditions for this thing to scan just right.
Seriously.
Oh, that's
and
hilarious.
like think about people that have like those screen protector things. So like it's like the privacy screens, like some businesses require that to have email on your phone, right? Like it's all the pieces. I'm like the QR code, and it's like it's not even like a nice QR code. It's like a little junky window that shows up. So it's got to be like just right in the thing.
Yeah.
And like before on the app, when you opened it, it said like welcome, your name, and it said how many car washes you had left for the month and when your subscription was renewing. Now you have to go like search through like 4 screens to even find out. Like the whole thing is ugly and clunky now. And
are you
like,
able to, if you go beyond your limit, do you get charged for every car wash beyond your limit?
I actually don't know.
See, I wonder if this also, thinking about the finance driven, thinking like the bank model. Oh, if they go over and they don't know if they're over because it's hard to get to, we might get them on
that just
a $40, $30 extra, and we're just going to charge them for an extra car wash. I hate stuff like I'm not saying that's what they did. It's just I could see it.
It's just weird because the old screens were all pretty and branded and like it worked, and now they're like. They took a step back in time. Like it looks like an app from 10 years ago with just very generic, ugly, like just plain white, like just not good. And I'm like, you already spent the money on the nice app. Like, why did you?
Why?
Yeah. And they made you re-sign up too. Like they didn't transfer membership. So there was already a hurdle to like get into the new one. You had to redo. And I'm like, I wonder how many customers they lost just from that.
They had no customer experience people. It's some vendor came in and sold them, oh, I know how to get you more. Or some finance guy was looking at them, oh, we could make more this way. Yeah. It was a match made in heaven. They had a meeting and just rolled it out without thinking about customer experience.
Well, it's bad.
Yeah.
It
comes down to like, to me, it's like some friction in the whole process is okay. Like plugging a number in, I don't know what the maintenance was on the machines for like plugging numbers into the screen or whatever, but versus, scanning a code or something. But like, there's some friction is fine in the whole process, like not every fast food place has to go to a screen where we never talk to a person. Like some of that is okay. Like it's a way to create a brand experience, like when I go to, I'm going to say Raising Cane's because they do it very interesting. In the winter, yes, you talk through a speaker, but if you're in warmer weather or in your warmer weather climate, they actually have someone outdoors taking your order. That's how it's supposed to be. There's someone there standing by your car in the drive-through lane taking your order because they want that. And I'm using them because it's such an interesting piece. Like that there's a person here instead of me talking to a microphone or clicking on a screen. Like they could easily make that change, but they've decided, no, it's the engagement between our staff and people that make us great, not just our food or our product. It's this piece. That engagement is important. So like that customer experience is really worth thinking about. And so it's a bummer that, bummer. Yeah.
Will I get rid of it? No, because I still like the car wash.
I know that was going to be my question. Is there a better car wash or a change?
They're one of the best touchless car washes I've found. It's just, I didn't mind plugging in 6 numbers. Like that's all it was.
Right. Yeah. Wrap another episode. so much for hanging out with us today. We know your time is valuable, so thanks for spending it here. If you found any value in today's conversation, let us know. Give us a review on Apple or Spotify. Really the best way to show other business owners, help them find the show and show them the value of what's going on here. But if you've got a topic you want us to cover, head over to whatthebiz.com. Tell us about it. But until next time, keep building, stay proactive, and we'll see you in the next one.